Today on the DiscoRitos podcast, it's Lower Decks Episode 6, Terminal Provocations. Okay, so this is how it's going to play out. I'm Chris, a lifelong Star Trek fan.
And I'm Andrea, a casual dabbler of the Star Trek world.
Together we're going to have fun,
Watch episodes.
and try and become the best Trekkies we can.
We're back! We're back, we made it back, and excited to be here.
Well, we didn't go anywhere. We didn't record anything.
Yeah.
It's not like we went on vacation.
No, it was the complete opposite of what a vacation should be. Yes, we stayed in our house, sickly, dying, not doing much at all.
We did run out of money because vacations take money too. We didn't make money. It's not really an opposite of a vacation. Don't look at me. She's looking like we're going to delete this. We're not going to delete this.
We're going to delete this. We're not going to talk about our financial woes.
Or woos.
Woos.
We are financially fine. We're neither here nor there.
Speaking of, this podcast is sponsored by Patreon. Sign up for our Patreon.
So, hold on. First of all, it's sponsored by Patreon. We want them to sign up for our Patreon, which we don't have.
We don't have one, no.
So what is your goal here?
Yeah, I was trying to make a joke. Success!
Well, okay. So we were sick. Kids were sick. They're repeatedly getting sick. We're on the 4th round of sickness. We're still not unsick, de-sick.
Nope, not everybody
and we're going to get re-sick.
Grade A healthy yet. So, But we're back because we missed this and we missed you, guy.
I get it. Because there's not many listeners at this point. I like you, guy. We're going to call him you, guy. Are you okay?
I like you, guy, too.
No.
I was just saying I like you. Guy.
No, I know. But we're back, and we're back with Episode 6, Terminal Provocations. It's because they're provoking computer terminals. I think that's why it's called that.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's deep.
Does this sound like I'm drinking coffee? Tea. Earl Grey. Well, I am, and that's why it sounds like that. The cold open was fun. Best cold open. Cannot remember it. What was the cold open?
That's my best impression of the warp core.
Oh, okay. They're making warp core sounds.
Yes.
Was it a warp core or was it the engine noise? It wasn't the warp core noise, it was the engine noise.
You're right.
If it's a warp core noise, it'll be woom, woom, woom. No, that doesn't. Oh my god, we're doing it. We are the opening scenes.
What's his name? The commander. What's the guy?
Ransom?
He comes in and says, he sees them all making the noises, and he's like, okay, there's something up.
Yeah, but he's immediately ready to phaser them. That was a very Shaxx move of Ransom there.
My tongue is so tickly from making that noise.
Yeah, that's, there was a song that if you did, the Crash Test Dummy song. I don't want to say the name because it hurts my lips to do. Do you know the song I'm talking about? No. It's called
Oh yeah.
And you sing that and it is tickle lips for a week, I tell you. Okay, back to the episode. So that was a cold open. They're making warp core noises and Ransom is about to eject them all out the airlock.
Yeah. And then we come in and we see that...
Well, aren't you going to do a recap? You got to do a recap.
Yes, okay.
We prepared this.
The Cerritos is currently in a standoff with the Drumani.
So you will sound less like you, or more like you know what you're talking if people don't hear the paper you're reading from moving.
You know what? I wrote the Drumani name on the back. So I had to do the flip.
Why is it on the back? It doesn't matter. Okay, sorry.
So they're on the standoff about the space junk that's been abandoned for 100 years. And I like to believe that there's some wacky adventure story about how all that space junk just made it out into space. Like, they had to eject the cargo to save the... maybe the bad alien was in the cargo hull and they said, inject it all.
Oh, that sounds cool. Except for it was an unmanned ship. It was automated.
Oh.
Yeah, I did a deep dive on that. It probably was mentioned in the episode, but yeah, it was an unmanned Regellian ship, I think.
So it's literally just space trash.
Yeah, it's space trash.
Okay, so they're in the standoff with the space trash because they don't want the other aliens to get Starfleet technology. So they're doing that, and then we have Boimler and Mariner and their new pal Fletcher. And Fletcher seems like a really cool guy.
Yeah, he defends Boimler against the Doctor, who gets cheese in her fur. Which I was trying to think, was it Fletcher drinking the cheese? But it must be cheese.
Yeah.
I bet you it's cheese hot.
Oh, yes. Because cheese cold would be very, very violent.
The cheese cold would be cheese whiz.
I think, isn't that cheese room temperature?
No, you put cheese whiz in the fridge. Do you not put cheese whiz in the fridge?
I haven't bought cheese whiz in 10 years, except for that one time I accidentally bought cheese whiz and then it turned out I bought extra spicy.
Yeah, you do that a lot.
I do that a lot.
Like, I can't eat spicy things, and spicy things end up in the fridge. I feel like we already lost track of what we were talking about.
Yes. But Fletcher defends Boimler against the Doctor, who gets cheese in her fur and then makes a comment of that it's very difficult to get out in a sonic shower. And what is a sonic shower?
It uses sonic waves instead of water to clean you.
So how does that clean you?
How does water clean you? You explained soap to me one day.
Yeah, soap is very interesting. Did you guys know that soap doesn't actually, like, do anything? It just loosens up the dirt, and so water can wash it away.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I heard that on the internet.
Oh, my Lord. I mean, I hope it's true, but
true.
I'm just glad we don't have a comment
section. I think if you have, like,
section.
maybe antibacterial soap, there might be some, like, alcohol in there that'll kill germs, but regular whale fat soap.
So we discussed earlier that one of us had to keep us on track.
You're right. Let's get back on track. Well,
the sonic shower cleans you by sonic audio sonics. Whatever.
Sound?
Yeah.
Sound
well, that's what
cleans?
sonic. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Let's not get stuck on that. Okay?
Okay, I mean, we can keep reviewing this episode, but there is a scientific miracle out there.
It's Star Trek. Okay.
Oh, okay, so it's not real.
No. What, you thought that...
I thought they actually had
they're in the
sonic showers
future.
now.
Well, they might.
They might.
They probably have something called a sonic shower. Anyway, we're going to get off track, because my head was going to those hoverboards that aren't hoverboards, but they have wheels in them. Do you not
don't know
what
what
I'm
you're
talking about?
saying.
Have you ever been to a mall ever?
Okay, I know what the hoverboards are.
Yeah. Right.
But why is your mind going there?
Because it's a lie. The sonic shower of today is not like the sonic shower of tomorrow. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're moving on. They mentioned Starbase 80. Totally thought it was a reference to something.
Was it?
No, it's not. Starbase 80 is apparently just a really backwards starbase, which actually maybe in a future episode we learn about.
Oh, yeah, it might be a callback to this.
But
that's interesting.
I'm saying that more of a fact. We will see Starbase 80.
Oh, spoiler alert. So they meet Fletcher, and Boimler, Mariner, and Fletcher all have to do something with the core that involves...
It's not the core, it's a core. I think it's something to do with the shields, right?
Yes, and as they mentioned in the episode, the core is not just like one big thing. It's like hundreds of little
cores,
cylinders that they
those are kind of like little cores.
Little cores that they have to. I don't know what they're doing. Like at first, I thought they were cleaning, but then they don't have their phasers out, so I don't know what.
I think they were cleaning isolinear chips, and also with isolinear chips, it's really funny because I don't understand. There's probably some technobabble about it, but every time they have to reprogram something, they just move these isolinear chips around, and then all of a sudden it works. And they did it in Star Trek Generations when, at the beginning with Enterprise B, that had to shoot the beam. He just went to deflector control and just reorganize the isochips, and all of a sudden, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah, so when they said the core, it was Mariner mentioned that you would think there'd be one big core, not millions of little ones.
Yeah, so they have to do this work that's obviously going to take hours, but Boimler and Mariner want to go because they have a choo-choo dance concert.
Do they mention what the choo-choo is?
No, they're very vague about it, but they're very hyped about it.
Because they use it as noun, the choo-choos. They use it as a verb to get your choo-choo on. So I'm thinking it's like the Blue Man Group.
And yeah, it's got to be something like that. And maybe they travel around to different starships to... Or maybe it's a holo. No, it's
It's
not a
not a
holodeck.
holodeck. No,
Okay, it's not a holodeck.
no, because it has to be. But it's like live stream like a holodeck because they're on the ship. They don't beam anywhere. It doesn't matter. Is this a synopsis? Is that what we're doing?
No. That's clearly not what we're doing.
Because we're running it in the background and we are following it, and we are almost minute for minute matching it. So we're doing the episode.
I think we might have to abandon the synopsis idea.
But I gotta wonder, would we do a synopsis in the future, or should we just go head first?
I think we should go head first. I think we need to believe that anyone who is listening to us has already seen the episode.
Yeah, it's weird that you'd think that they wouldn't have. Because the only people I would think of that didn't would be like friends of ours and stuff that just want to show support. And even then, they're sitting in the back, like, just listening in the background, be like, well, this'll show support and it'll register as a view. And they're like, whoa, are they talking about me right now as I'm doing dishes?
This is so meta.
But anyway, back to the episode. We're gonna get it. We are gonna get it.
Okay. So Boimler and Mariner go off to the choo-choo dance, and Fletcher is attacked by aliens.
Yeah. Again, I know we're supposed to leave the choo-choo thing, but they were doing the choo-choo dance.
Yes, and it looked just like the conga.
But who was doing the choo-choo?
I feel like it's performers come and they rock this dance so hard that everybody talks about it and loves it, and they wowed them with a big finish of doing the choo-choo-choo.
Okay. You know what? We're done with the choo-choos. I was trying to figure out if they're people or what we were looking at, because you don't actually see them. It's all crowd shots, but it's fine. So, yeah, what happened to Fletcher? Tell us what happened to Fletcher.
Well, according to Fletcher, he gets attacked by aliens, and he gets phasered and knocked out, and one of the aliens steals part of the core. And this Boimler says will only be noticed if the ship runs diagnostics. So they believe someone's trying to sabotage them, and they believe that it might be Delta Shift.
Right. Well, I mean, Fletcher doesn't think that. And I like how you're building this like nobody knows if Fletcher's done it to himself.
Yeah, but even though it's clearly obvious that he's lying and hiding something.
When the first time I watched it, I thought he was
You
phasered.
thought he was just like manic?
And I thought it was Boimler. It looked like Boimler.
It does look like Boimler. The shadowy figure does look like Boimler.
But again, this goes back to what I talked about in whatever episode I said. You fire a phaser in a ship, there's going to be an alarm.
Yeah?
Yeah. So Fletcher was already on like uneven ground when he started the whole thing. But then they get into who to blame, who's guilty for it, and they immediately, Boimler and Mariner immediately think Delta Shift.
Yeah.
And Fletcher, about 2 seconds later, tries to repeat the same thing.
Which is interesting, because when they do eventually uncover the core, they find it under just this thin blanket on Fletcher's bunk, and he didn't even think to like hide it on someone else's. Like, he could have easily I guess maybe not hid it on Delta Shift because they were sleeping.
No, not even that. He didn't even think about Delta Shift.
Yeah.
He thought of Space and Alien Invader to try and cover his tracks. But like the weird thing is Fletcher was ready to fight Delta Shift over it. Because was he trying to sell the lie?
I think he's trying to sell the lie. That's definitely what I took in this. Like, he's just getting so aggressive and like hyper. What did I write? I wrote some notes and I said something like,
If you ever wondered how cool Andrea is when we're watching things, she wrote some notes.
I did.
Maybe
not. I can't even read my notes.
And it's notes she has not organized in any way.
Not in any way. And mostly just rambling and some doodles.
Like, you wrote Delta Shift in an exclamation
Delta
mark.
Shift!
But why, though?
I don't know. Because we hate Delta Shift.
But we don't.
Yeah, I wrote he's overreacting. So that was my deep insight to this part of the episode.
Right. So as it turns out, Fletcher tried to pretty much mind meld with the computer core.
Yeah.
To get work done faster, and unfortunately, he put his what's an appropriate word?
Unstable brain.
That's better than dumbness. I was gonna say dumbness in there.
His unstable brain into the unstable core to create a brain melded core monster.
Yeah, but it does
brain pattern core monster.
And it works to a point. He makes a monster. Well, I don't think he intended it to be a monster, but then all it wants to do is collect more things, and so it starts,
and express his daddy issues.
Yeah, the next thing that happens is Tendi and Rutherford go into the holodeck because Tendi has somehow got past Starfleet Academy without doing any zero-G training. And zero-G training is important.
If you're working out in space.
Yeah. Well, Andrea mentioned in some other time, not on a recording, that why is that important? Why is it even necessary?
No, I think I was questioning, like, if it's so easy, if you just jump in magnet, then why do you have to have a whole course about it?
Well, see, it's not just jump in magnet, though, because, like, if you don't magnet, you float off into space. But also, I think they had, like, RCS, reaction control thrusters on the thing. But it doesn't matter. It's important. And zero-G fight training is important. In Star Trek First Contact, Worf hated zero-G combat training when he had to do it. But it was part of the Academy. So,
it's weird to think that Worf would hate anything that has combat training in the name.
Sort of. But Worf was, he had his quirks that made him, like, Klingon-y but relatable. So Rutherford, in an attempt to impress Tendi, I know her name.
I know. I just like saying it at the same time you do.
Okay.
Jinxie owe me a Coke.
No, I don't understand. Okay, I'll buy you a Coke.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So anyway, they're doing their thing, and Rutherford invents the scenario to train, but also invents a Clippy-esque type figure from the old Microsoft Word before 2007. Because it turns out Clippy was canceled or terminated in 2007.
Yes, and a lot of people applauded. People hated Clippy.
Yeah, it was around for 10 years. But anyway, so he created Badgie, which now the similarities are getting even stronger as I turn out. But he also has daddy issues, Badgie does. Because Badgie kind of becomes self-aware and gets really mad at Rutherford.
Yeah.
His father, for mostly kicking him and stuff.
Well, Rutherford yelled at him when he's glitching and then kicked him. I don't understand the point of kicking a program, so...
It worked.
It did work. It rebooted him a little bit, but it caused Badgie to go nutsy.
Well, no, there's a programming issue in there because, I mean... He was homicidal from the start.
Yeah, you get that. Even when what he says, "Can I teach you a lesson?" Like just even in the beginning, like that's a creepy thing to say. How about how can I help?
Yeah, but yeah, so that happens, and then I think because of Laser Brain there, that's what we'll call Fletcher, who turns out just to be the worst kind of person.
He's
which
the
sucks.
worst. And he hit it so well in the beginning. He was so cool. Then
chugging that cheese whiz.
Yeah,
he was getting crazy with the cheese whiz. For all you cool young people out there, it's from a Beck song. I think came out in the 90s.
Oh, I was around for that time, and I don't know what you're talking about.
You didn't like music either.
No, that's why. Thank God for podcasts. Am I right? Everybody turn off your radios and just listen to talking.
If they turn off their... Moving on. Getting crazy with the cheese whiz. Where were we going with that? Badgie, boo. Oh, yeah, right. So Zappy Brain, as... It always happens. There's a malfunction. And the first thing it knocks out, if you're in the holodeck, is the safety protocol.
Yeah.
So Badgie is homicidal with no recourse now. Is it recourse?
Recourse. And then Rutherford and Tendi are on space, but they quickly realize the safety protocols are off.
Because it announces it.
They go to the Bajoran marketplace as a safer place to sort of blend in and hide.
Yeah. And then apparently big staircases, so...
That's really interesting about the staircases. So they're running away, and they run up this huge staircase, and Badgie's chasing them, but Badgie's getting winded and tired, and Rutherford actually says he shouldn't be affected by the physical parameters of this simulation, but never says why.
I don't know.
They never figure it out.
Do you think Badgie might come back in a future episode?
Well, he's already there. You see at the end of the episode, he's already there. I mean, not before Rutherford snaps his neck.
But also, Rutherford's... I don't want to, insult the guy, but how good of an engineer is he? If he immediately makes Badgie and is homicidal, and then not only is he homicidal, but he's obviously can't go upstairs.
Subject to the physical parameters of the simulation.
Yeah, actually, that's a true point. Why is he not flying?
Why is he not flying?
Because he's not subject to the...
And why does he have a spinal cord in his neck?
These are questions that we cannot answer. So these are just incredible thoughts.
We have incredible thoughts.
Yeah. That was kind of a reference to Andy Samberg.
Oh, Lonely Island?
Lonely Island, yeah. They did a song called Incredible Thoughts with Michael Bolton.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's about I think just one of the quotes, and this is not a personal opinion, was, "What if a garbage man was actually smart?"
Oh no.
Yeah. So they're incredible thoughts.
Garbage men are like the smartest. They get paid like $1 million a year to sit in a truck and lift garbage. I love it.
There was a joke I read that I did not write, and I cannot be held accountable for it, is that this kid was in class and the teacher yelled at him and said, "You pay attention or you're going to become a garbage man." And then it turns out the garbage man makes more money than teachers do.
Yeah, makes like 80,000 and teachers make 30. Not to say anything bad about teachers.
But there was this joke. There's a commentary on society.
This teacher goes to a doctor. The doctor is just the dumbest doctor you ever seen. Not to say anything bad about doctors.
But he goes to this mechanic. Anyway, we're losing it. We're losing it. We were losing it. Anyway, so Badgie's trying to kill Rutherford up some stairs. And Tendi, he's very clear about that. Yeah. Meanwhile, the core is a core monster now, getting stronger. But
just eating all the electronics.
Not great at defending himself.
No, and well, you know what? When Boimler and Mariner are pulling the core along to try and get it to the transporter room, which they later abandon for the airlock, the core grabs like this metal cart and pulls it towards itself and knocks Boimler and Mariner. And that looks like that would honestly like break their legs or kill them. Like a hit like that at a velocity like that with something as heavy as that is not good. And that's just how I feel. But,
I mean, you don't know really the heaviness. Because it could be
it just looked like a devastating hit and they just walk it off.
It might not be the material might be super lightweight. Because now...
I guess it is space.
But
space
it's not
material.
space in there.
Space.
It's the future.
It's the future. Yeah.
The lightweight things that can carry heavy things is really the best thing to transport things. I'm just trying to say things as much as you did. You said things a lot.
I did, and it went nowhere.
Yeah, but here we are. But we're eating time is what we're doing. Somehow we're getting paid by the minute.
We're getting paid?
We're not getting paid.
We're not getting paid.
So this whole time, the whole time that this is all happening is they're having on the bridge the lowest risk battle possible. They can't fire on the enemy. Well, I guess they can't call them the enemy, but they can't fire on the salvagers because the salvagers are technically not firing on them, but they are tractor beam throwing objects at them, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's just aggravating Shax to no end. Shax just wants to, destroy the warp core as Shax does. But no, can't destroy the warp core.
Can't what?
Destroy the warp core. I know what I said. And Shax was pretty upset. He was good all month, and apparently that allows you to declare war on a salvage ship. But so Shax doesn't get to destroy the warp core or whatever, or destroy the ship. The recurring, this is the most they've ever said in an episode. It might be the most. They're mentioning how many things are Starfleet. You're not Starfleet. That's not very Starfleet. We're Starfleet, damn it. And It seems like Starfleet, they're starting to play off the fact that Starfleet's kind of causing them problems. They could be solved most of their issues if they didn't follow the Starfleet way and they just blew up a warp core. Like the salvage ship didn't even have any weapons.
Yeah.
Like they could literally just crank the shields to full and just run into them, and that would just that would be the end.
That's interesting that you think that Starfleet's causing the issues.
Well,
I wonder if that plays out more in the future.
So many times in Star Trek, there's everything that gets in the way. It's usually a plot point. It's a prime directive. It's, trying to do the diplomatic way, or they can't get involved, not only because of prime directive, but because of, like, the Starfleet way. Like, it's not ethical.
Rank, or some junior officer knows the answer, but I guess there's not really a lot of episodes like that.
Well, Shax usually wants to blow up the warp core, and I mean that he doesn't always know the answer. His answer is usually blow up the warp core. That does play out, but everything goes kind of well. They eject Evil Core out the airlock. Evil Core finds the salvage ship pretty quick, and he pretty much destroys them. He didn't destroy the ship, does he? He just kind of causes...
No, we see it gets sort of hurt, and then off screen it's implied that it
hurt.
It gets a little beaten up. Yeah, there's a little bit of fire, and then off screen it's sort of implied that it's gotten destroyed.
Yeah, but
there's no way it could survive that.
And it was all thanks to Fletcher.
Yes.
For some reason.
So he gets a promotion and a transfer to the Titan.
Yeah, and then immediately fired.
And then immediately fired.
Yeah.
You know, it's that old saying. It's
this ought to be an interesting.
You know, when people ask, "Oh, like, how's the job?" and then how is it working here? And then the guy goes, "Oh, you know, how did you find it at the old place you worked?" And then whatever the answer is, they say, "Well, that's pretty much what it is here because it's you can get a new circumstance and a new environment, but you can't change yourself." So don't even try.
What?
I don't know.
There's a Michael Scott quote that I loved is sometimes I'll start a sentence and even I won't know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way. That's kind of what I felt was happening there.
Yeah. I think it's getting late and I think...
Don't look over at the clock. It's almost over. We swear to God it's almost over. Yeah, so what wraps it up? Badgie gets kind of rebooted, but there's still an implication that not even an implication.
No, he's evil.
He's evil. So we'll see him again. Probably.
Fletcher gets promoted and transferred.
And then fired.
And the Drumani get destroyed. So everything
Allegedly.
works out in the end.
Except for the Jumani.
And the evil Badgie.
And I mean, they were worried about, were they worried about Starfleet technology on the 100-year-old ship?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter because I guess they get all that back, and anything they didn't get back blew up. So
yeah.
But there's no repercussions mostly for this episode.
Well, Boimler and Mariner realized that it's not all the lower decks that they should hang out with. It's just the good lower deck people.
And it did build their relationship a bit. So
it did.
That was nice.
And I feel like Mariner was finally nice to Boimler in an episode.
Does it feel like we covered the episode? I feel like we did a lot of talking. I feel like there's a lot of episode in there.
Yeah. It was overall a good episode in my opinion. Let's do a review
of our episode.
Yeah.
Let's do a separate podcast to review our podcast.
Oh, well, meta.
Stop that. That's twice you did that.
Yeah.
Don't use the same jokes. Use something new.
In case you cut out the other joke.
I'm gonna. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Well, it was really good to be back.
Where are we going?
We will be back again next week.
Okay, I was concerned there. It sounded like that was the end.
No, well, it's the end of this episode.
It is. But it's not the end for us. Anyway, that's good for this Wednesday. Yes. It is Wednesday now.
It is Wednesday. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Okay.
You sound like you're on a fake. You're like walking through a mall and you see somebody you know. Let's try this. Okay, bye.
Bye.